I want to go back even before that. So
Mhm.
I was on your YouTube channel, and it's back in 2016. Um, what was it? Glenda Live. You did six
Glenda Baker.
episodes. Yeah, you did 6 episodes, and then you
Yep.
stopped.
Yeah.
And I want to say before we get into like the how, and I want to know how that came about and why you stopped. But I want to say first, like going back, it's really interesting because like it's the same you, right? Like there's that charisma there, but like the difference is there's no production value. It's like
No.
you standing in your office, like this full screen. There's no like lighting setup, etc. Was so, like my takeaway was like these have like 300 views each now, like basically nothing compared to what you get now on TikTok. But my takeaway was that like the idea was there, you just didn't have access to like the people who knew how to execute yet, or something like that. But okay, so tell me, how did Glenda Live come about?
So sit down. I paid $450 for each of those videos. I had a professional come into my office and shoot that. So that's the thing. It's like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And so, $450, is that how much it costs? Okay. And there was no lighting. And
Mhm.
and if you go back to 2016, um, that is 10 years ago. I am right hitting hot flash central. The 50 flashes are flashing early. And I mean, in one of them, I'm sweating profusely.
Yeah.
It is so crazy just to look back on them and like the outfits I wore, like what was I thinking? But you're right. Like I knew, like I love what I do and
Mhm.
I love to talk to people. And I knew that I could bring that together on video. I just didn't know how to execute it. And I didn't know how to consume content. I
Mm.
think that that's really a critical point is what you see now is me understanding how to consume content because from 2016, then I went to from Glenda Live to Post from the Porsche, which I loved, which was basically preaching from the Porsche because I was ranting.
Mhm.
Um, but still, I didn't know how to consume content. And then once I found out, I figured out, oh, this is what I like to watch.
Well, wait,
Oh,
wait.
this is
Sorry, real
what
quick. What? So were you like on? So this is 2016, and I think too,
yeah,
like what one thing I'll say about like production value and like whoever this person was you hired, like the state of online content was so much different then, right?
yeah,
TikTok didn't exist. Like people weren't all like lit up. Phone cameras weren't as good. All
no,
this stuff. But did you have like a personal relationship with social media then? Because the way you're saying like you didn't know how to consume content, I'm getting that like you weren't on Instagram scrolling.
I
Like
was on Facebook.
yeah. Well, that was
Right,
his
I'm
thing then. Still.
57 years old. In
Yeah.
2016, I was what, 49? Like, I'm on Facebook, and I wasn't on Facebook, like, I still "What are you doing?" "I'm at the grocery store." Like, I wasn't like, I didn't understand the purpose of it. I didn't get it. I wasn't engaged with it. I would sometimes check it, I would sometimes not. But I liked that Gary V. And I
Mhm.
liked him. And that was kind of like, oh, he just talks. I love to talk. I could do that. But I didn't consume it. I wasn't engaged with social media. I didn't understand it. And that's the difference between 2016 and 2020 was
Mhm.
in those 4 years. Number one, I learned how to consume. But number two, I also kind of figured out what was my voice, where was I most effective, what were the people that followed me looking for. And so people constantly come to me because I'm like Aunt Glitter. Like I'm your aunt. I'm everybody's mom's best friend. And
Mhm.
so you can ask me the questions. There's no judgment. Like I've been where you were. I'm not selling $250 million penthouses. I'm not selling $50 million houses. We closed on a $250,000 condo today in Atlanta with first time homebuyers.
Yeah.
So I am relatable to a lot of people. And talking to those people, like they talk, they were like, "Oh, wait a minute. She sounds like reliable." Like,
Well, how did you figure this out? Like, were you talking to people who clients who'd seen your videos or whatever? Like,
no,
what did
I'm
it
just
take to
talking
learn
about,
that?
like, in general, like, just when
Yeah.
I talk to people, like, everybody, like, Nikki Griner sends me a text message the other day. She's like, "How do we know how much our" this is my best friend from 3rd grade. Like, she's like, "How do we know how much our house is worth if we haven't done any updates? It's completely original, and everything that's selling around us is updated." Well, she's been my best friend since 3rd grade.
Yeah.
She's heard me talk about real estate for 30 years, and she doesn't even know how to find the value of her home. And that's the thing that really kind of clued into me was like as real estate agents, we think people know all about real estate.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
because it's
immersed in it.
secondhand to us.
Mhm.
And here's Nikki Griner, my best friend. She has absolutely no sit down. Her sister-in-law is also a real estate agent. And so that's the thing is like I think when I say I talk to people
Mhm.
on video like I talk to Nikki Griner, like that's how I talk. And that's why people, I think, bite into my content. I also think the way that I um so I watched that Matthew Hussey. He gives
Mhm.
dating advice. And everything was like he was in an interview and he was talking and he was talking and it was like he was talking to somebody and it was like I couldn't look away. I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh
'cause
my
he's
god.
talking to you.
Yeah, like I need to listen to this." And so I told Denver, I said, "Hey, I want to have a microphone
Mhm.
and I want to like this guy." And so we
Yeah.
started and Denver was like, "Well, just look at the camera and talk." And I just couldn't do it. Like I
Yeah.
just couldn't do it. And so he put Sam in the chair and I started talking real estate to Sam, the lighting guy. And that was how kind of the whole thing was born.
Okay.
But it was just like, what would you tell your best friend? What would you tell your best client? And what would you tell your therapist?
Mm.
Like those are the buckets that I kind of talk in.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it came about.
And so it was just the like the thing that clicked was just you seeing this other video and being like, "This is I'm hooked on this. This is what I need to reproduce." And then at that point too, you knew the guy who could set up the production for you.
Oh no, I didn't know him. I
Oh.
had no idea. I literally was scrolling through Instagram and this girl who is absolutely beautiful, Paige Pace, she's a real estate agent. She's also like a model.
Mhm.
And he had done a video for her. I see her video on Instagram. I'm like, huh, that looks like a good video. She likes him. I could reach him. She had tagged him in the video. I sent him a message on Instagram. I said, "Hey, my name's Glennda Baker. I want to shoot real estate videos." And he sent me a DM. He called me. He's like, "Lady," he's like, "What are you looking for?" I said, "I want to shoot TikTok videos." And he goes, "You can do that with your phone." I said, "That's not really my style. I really like for you to come do it." I said, "How much is that going to cost me?" And he told me, and I was like, "Oh my goodness gracious!" Like, oh yeah,
It's an
definitely.
investment.
It was more than that. I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
So I that was February the 20th that
Mhm.
no, that was
February
February
2020.
6th of 2020. And I said, "Let me think about it." And then the pandemic hit and nobody did anything. And then I never will forget, I was sitting on my porch, my screen porch, and I was like, "I think we're going to make it through. I think I'm going to come out on the other end of this pandemic. I'm still going to be a real estate agent. I'm still going to sell houses." And I sent him another message, a text message, and I said, "Hey, we talked a couple months ago. I want to do those videos." And so October the 7th, I posted my first video. And by the end of the year, I had 100,000 followers.
Yeah. That's amazing. So, and